everybody knows the rules.
Yeah. The rule is one beer leads to another beer.
That's right. Here we go.
Cheers. That's good.
That is good. So Charles, what keeps you up at night, man?
Well, what keeps me up at night, besides acid reflux, for me personally, with my business, it's trying to find a location that's suitable for us that we can produce barbecue at a much greater rate, as well as being consistent. So looking for a brick and mortar has been very, very difficult, especially for a barbecue restaurant. The costs are just astronomical. Everything is going up in price. We've seen that this year where the beef prices are just insane. Yet we're not necessarily raising our prices because I think it's really tight for people in terms of being able to spend and go out. Like you go to one of the fast food restaurants and you're spending more than $10 on a meal, and maybe I'm out of touch, but you can spend less than that. There used to be the dollar menu, but now it's a value menu.
Yeah, right.
It's so costs are rising, and that keeps me up at night too, because at the end of the day, the consumer feels it. It's hard to kind of navigate through that whole process of what is a fair thing to charge. Some of it you have to take a hit on so that you can still have people that are interested in our food. But the way that costs are rising, you're going to eventually lose some of your customers because they just can't afford it. And we're seeing that change with people eating out less, going to the grocery store more to buy things and making things themselves. So
all right. So everybody has cost issues. You're not the only restaurateur pop-up that has cost issues. But going back to trying to open up a place for those that are in your same boat, right? That are just getting started. Not that you're new into this industry, but you're looking for a brick and mortar. What's the holdup, man? Are you afraid to pull the trigger? You just didn't find the right place yet? I mean, what are the things that you're looking for or not looking for that's going to be like, hey man, this is what I want, this is what I don't want?
Yeah, I think cost is a big thing. Like, how do we raise money with a barbecue restaurant getting started? You need 2 hoods and 2 shafts in your restaurant, so you have to be very strategic in trying to figure out what's the good space for you. A lot of the restaurants don't have an extra hood, an extra shaft where it vents out, and that costs 6 figures, $100,000 at least to get started. So leasing the space and then adding that, you're already $100,000 behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, hey, I'm going to spend $100,000 to.
Why do you need 2 hoods and 2 shafts? I mean,
so
is that a requirement from the city or
yeah,
state or what?
It's a safety issue. So especially in the city of Chicago, you can't cook outside. I think it's a health issue unless you have a special permitted event, a special permit to do that, which is going to be your festivals like Taste Chicago, things like that, where they can have people on site monitoring if you're keeping things at safe temperatures and practicing good sanitation.
Okay.
Now lost my train of thought now. What was the second question?
Well, what's so hard about?
What's so hard about?
Yeah.
So you have to. It's the safety issue of you can't have anything that's grease producing under the same hood as something that is a hard wood that you're using.
So that sucks because if you're, from what I've seen when I go to different states, let's say we're going to go down to Tennessee, they're allowed to cook outside, right? They have a beautiful smoker outside. In fact, that's the draw.
Yeah.
You smell the smoke, right? You see the smoker and they're like, hey, that place looks kick-ass. Let's go check that out. Here, you don't have the advantage of that because you got to go inside. So, I mean, the smells will be there, but the ambiance of that, right? So that's gone. So how would you think about, how would you want to like recreate that? Have you thought about that? Or I mean,
yeah, you'd have to get a smoker that is built for being underneath a hood. you're going to lose a couple things. Like we have a smoker here. This is our
Yeah.
offset smoker. And, you know, I think it produces the best barbecue because you got a single layer, a single grate. If you want to produce barbecue for the masses, especially in Chicago, space is such a premium that you can't have a large footprint. And putting this underneath the hood, this is 22 feet long,
Right.
but it's like maybe 14 feet if you took it off the trailer. Like you'd have to have a 14-foot hood to fit it under, and then you can only smoke meats.
Right.
And what about the rest of the things that you need to do?
Right.
You get a rotisserie, you get something you can put underneath the hood that it can hold a lot more product. Problem with that is you get a rotisserie, let's say you're cooking briskets, you put briskets on, you rotate, you put more briskets on the grates. When you start cooking, your brisket that's on top is going to drip onto the brisket that's going to be on the bottom, which is going to drip onto the next brisket that's going to be bottom. So you're not building a really nice bark,
Right.
because moisture is actually your enemy when you're trying to build bark. You know, the further I get down the line, the more that I do this, especially the offset cooking, the more I'm thinking, man, I would love to, have sleep and spend time with my family and everything.
Yeah, it's a premium right now.
Yeah, that's the premium. So how long have you been in business for?
29 and a half years. Yeah, it's been a dream ever since, let me tell you.
What's changed since then? Like, so if you were in 96, and then you had the dot-com boom, or bust, actually.
Right.
And then you went to the subprime mortgage crisis.
Yep.
And then you went through COVID as well.
Yep.
So those three things, like consumer behavior, obviously you're selling to restaurants, so things have changed over 29 and a half years.
For sure.
But maybe if you can kind of give me insight on.
It was pretty crazy when we started in 96. So the height of Charlie Trotter and the French Revolution, so to speak. And so, things were booming. New chefs were coming out, were being spawned from the Charlie Trotter era, and Rich Melman and people were starting their own restaurants from these great restaurant entrepreneurs. The diversity of the food scene was booming at that time. It was awesome. And a lot of people were introduced to different things that they never had access to before. Starting then, it was exciting. It was fresh. It was new. Young guys were coming onto the scene. We were bringing new products, like I said. And then, as time went on in the early 2000s, the ups and downs in the real world, like you're talking about with the 2008 collapse and that kind of stuff, didn't really affect the clientele that we really had, because the clientele we had is your higher end restaurant, right? And so the people that went there, yeah, they were affected by that, but so they didn't get their hair done or they didn't get to take 12 vacations that year.
Yeah.
They still went to the restaurants and they still spent money, but times were different. I mean, we had people were making minimum wage, which was a completely different minimum wage than it is now.
It's like $5.25 an hour,
Yeah,
$4.75 or something like
wait
that.
staff was getting paid below minimum wage,
It's like
and they were
$1.
making tons on tips, right? So
Yeah.
that was their deal. We could talk about that a different day or later on today. So
Cooking some ribs.
Oh, you're good.
That's okay. Yeah, you want to come check it out?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we just got
About an hour and a half so far.
about half an hour or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Letting them rock
Nice.
for a little bit. Yeah.
Sweet.
You guys live in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
No.
We're coming up here, Wet Lake. But we're from Champaign area.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
visiting, or
Yeah.
hanging out, or you
Yeah.
get lost, or what?
No, we found parking that was close enough.
there you go.
Anyway. Say hi.
What are they playing there?
Go over there.
It's Wet Lake.
Go up there to the bridge and then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just saw you guys were smoking.
Oh yeah,
I got a Traeger. I've been loving it, but
Traeger is great.
yeah,
Like
but,
I started on a Traeger,
yeah.
and then I
hardware.
got too serious, and then all of a sudden I have this big thing. I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
Are you
not
doing
sure.
this for like a competition or something? Or you...
No, we sell some meats.
Okay.
Yeah, we do catering, things like that, pop-ups.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna be. Are you a big Illini fan?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't go to the games.
You don't go to the games?
but
we're gonna be at the Illini game against Ohio State. So October 11th, I think.
Cool. You gonna
Yeah.
be set up in front of the stadium? Or?
We're gonna be set up in front of the stadium. Yeah. So there's this company called Wagyu Stars. I'm
Okay.
not part of it, but there's a guy named Flynn. Pete knows him really well. They store the
Wagyu beef.
They do Wagyu beef. So we're gonna feature some Wagyu products down there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes really well with
Are you
beer.
guys, like I was trying to do brisket, but didn't do it well, so I'll have to
Oh,
try it again.
yeah.
But pork butt, I've got that
Pork
down.
butt is great. Brisket's a thing, you know. You do pork butt on a Traeger, and then you're like, "Fuck, I'm a pitmaster."
Yeah,
then you do
right.
brisket, you're like, "What the fuck am I doing
Yeah,
now?
right,
How's this
right,
all?"
right.
Same thing for me. And like, I don't know what you do with your brisket, but you smoke it and then like you wrap it,
Yeah, I did.
in butcher
I
paper?
tried the butcher paper last time I did it. Okay.
and all you're doing is just like you can take a probe,
Yeah.
and if it feels like butter, then you're done.
You're good.
Yeah. So once you form that bark, like you don't really need to layer on any more smoke or anything like that. You're just trying to get tender.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, get the fat.
Yeah. So I'd recommend doing that.
Yeah. Are you guys? How old are you?
I'm 40. I'll be 41 next
so like
month.
the first thing that really got me into cooking and that kind of stuff was Good Eats.
Good Eats. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Alton Brown. Yeah. I went to a show like years ago.
Yeah.
Out in the burbs. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But,
cool.
yeah, man. Well, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Didn't see the camera, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
It's
we're
like walking up. Hey, what's it?
we're on Instagram as Umamicue.
Okay.
If you have Instagram, follow us, and like if you follow us, just shoot us a message, and be happy to help you with your brisket cook.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You guys have
Yeah.
fun at the concert.
Have a great time at the concert. Where are we?
There you go.
Is that going to be included in that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Your
Oh, that was good.
Your expertise.
Yeah. All right. So you were saying, so 2000s, people were still going out to eat.
Yeah,
But-
so people that had that lifestyle of going to a restaurant, high-end, white tablecloth clientele, I know, like I said, they would cut a few things here and there for a little while, and then, you know, things are going to rebound. They know that. So they're going to go right back to their habits, and that's going out and spending money and eating good food and you know, drinking
Yeah.
good drink. So it didn't really affect us for very long. And then I guess you want to talk about one of the worst times in the restaurant industry for, I would probably have to speak for not only myself, but a lot of people, was COVID.
Yeah.
And what was leading up to COVID. Times were changing, right? So things were definitely not the same since then.
Yeah.
And the younger generation, I'm dating myself, but the younger generation came out of it and they were like, hey, you know what, let's go convenience. Let's order from Uber Eats. Let's order from all the, you know, DoorDash and that kind of stuff, which really affected the restaurant industry, as you know. We'll talk about that all day long, but
Right.
so now we're post-COVID, 5 years plus.
It's been that
And-
long, huh?
Yeah,
Jesus.
that long of goodness in all of our lives, right?
That was, yeah.
And so, you know, and so along with that is, you know, things like you said are getting more expensive, and everything from sliced bread to packaging to beef to anything and everything, besides the cost of your people, have skyrocketed. So anything and everything is starting to eat into your profits, which ultimately affects us, the suppliers,
Yeah.
on what we can sell you, right? So the restaurant industry has dumbed down quite a bit. It's starting to make a little bit of comeback now, but I mean, it's taken a long time. You know, this is half a decade in the making, and people were scared. They weren't sure what was going to happen. A lot of people lost their restaurants.
Yeah.
And we ourselves had to change too, right? We had to spin and go in different directions as well. I mean, during COVID, we had to create a retail website. We had to think about how we were going to sell home consumers, because we have only sold restaurant consumers. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, in 30 years, there's been a lot of changes in this, and there's going to be a lot of changes in the next 30 years. I can tell you that. It's never ending, but so you got to spin, you got to adapt, right? So
Yeah.
people that, I mean, I can remember years ago when even before I had Chicago Game, the way the people thought about things, it was different. They thought like, the more exotic, the better.
Yeah.
So you could sell things like lion or black bear, and people wouldn't even bat an eye. They would go, oh, wow, that's really cool. And now it's like, I wouldn't even think about bringing things like that on.
Yeah.
It's not,
Well,
it's just not conducive to the environment of what we're in right now. Now it's smash burgers and tacos and the cheap sells and that kind of stuff. So, squab, poussin, foie gras, even venison and bison are not the stars anymore. They're the anomalies. And hopefully soon they will come back. I'm sure they will. I mean, they've been around for thousands of years. It's not like they're going to go away.
yeah.
Just the same as in the early 2000s, fusion food, Asian fusion type style came around. Everybody was like, oh, we got to do our own spin on that. So everybody got involved in that. And it's still popular, but it's not as popular as it once was. But, French cooking, Italian, German, all these ethnicities, Mexican, South American, Peruvian, they all take their spin at the table, right? And very few stay for the longevity. But hardcore, they've been around for a long time and will always be around. These are staples in the American diet at this point. So, but you gotta spin and choose. So, I don't know. It's been an interesting ride so far, to say the least. We solved the world's problems today, but we got a few things off our chest, and appreciate your time, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for stopping by.
We'll do it again, I'm sure, soon and often, and we'll keep this rolling. So, I'm Pete with Chicago Game, and
Charles from Umamicue.
keep cooking.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Slanjava.
Nastarovia.